Hello, fellow fantasy sports junkies. This is MFSN The Hub's Waiver Wire Basketball Edition. You're watching MFSN. Okay, I'm your host, Dr. Dan Ratner, and I'm here, as always, with Ross the Boss.
Hi, I'm Ross the Boss, and I want to talk fantasy basketball waiver wire with you, cowboy. Dan, before we get started with our waiver wire pickups, I got to compliment you, which I never do. I don't know why I'm doing this today because your ego is going to go this big. So I have to compliment you. Your Cleveland Cavs played the first time ever the top three players in the East. I feel the top three players. They played the Brooklyn Nets. They beat the Brooklyn Nets in overtime. Your guy, Colin Sexton, just didn't score 22 points in the overtimes, but he outscored the three top players on Brooklyn 22-19, which is unbelievable. Did you get to watch the game at all? Double overtime, Dan, double overtime.
I cannot believe that I did not get to see it. I did watch the highlights afterwards, and I was following the score.
Oh, you were?
I'm sorry.
Okay, good. Okay.
Yeah, I was following the score.
So if you didn't see it, it was, Harden, Irving, Durant, they all showed up. They all were playing. No one played any defense. But this Colin Sexton, he didn't have his other guard. Garland's hurt, so he didn't have his teammate. C.D. Osman played instead of Garland, who we'll talk about later. But Sexton took the team on his back, scored 42 points. He was unbelievable, and it wasn't a good debut for the Brooklyn Nets. It was not a good. No. And the Cleveland Cavs, who are right now, if the playoffs started today, they would be a 7 seed, which is unbelievable. No one paid them at all going to the playoffs except you, Dr. Dan Ratner, and I got to compliment you on that.
I appreciate it. Bickerstaff is the man. Did you see that block Sexton did on Durant? That was amazing.
His defense was his offense, his assist. He literally, and he has one of the best hairs in the NBA. I love his haircut. It's unbelievable. Him and Kobe White are my two favorite. But again, he took that team on his back. He had some players that were hurt, like Love didn't play. And your boy Andre, what's his name?
Drummond.
Andre Drummond. He only played 21 minutes. He barely played, and they still won the game without Drummond having some monster game, which is unbelievable. I think what Brooklyn has to do is they got to figure out whose role is who. I like having maybe Irving coming off the bench or Harden coming off the bench. I don't think all of them at once on the court is the greatest idea. I like one of them coming off and the other one coming on to get some rest. I just feel they got to get a rhythm. It's going to take a few weeks. Don't get down on Brooklyn. They're a great team. They'll be in the finals, according to Ross the Boss. So please, whatever you do, don't panic, Brooklyn fans. You have a great team there. It's going to be exciting to watch, and just don't do anything crazy.
I have a feeling we're going to hear even more from Ross the Boss on this, and I love your take on it. But we have a question coming in. We're going to get to it right away. Anthony Cruz is asking, Alec Burks versus Seth Curry. Who's the better pickup from here on out?
So Alex Burks is a probable on Friday night. Alex Burks is back, baby. And Alex Burks is averaging 20 points a game before he got hurt. That's unbelievable. You gotta keep Alex Burks. He's on a roll. He's gonna be playing on Friday. As much as I love Curry, he's not he's really hot and cold. He's not consistent enough for me. He's 3-pointers. He doesn't get the assists like Alec does. So I would take Alec Burks. He's my guy. He comes back on Friday, and he'll come back in vengeance. Dr. Dan, I said. He'll be great.
I am inclined to agree. I mean, Alec Burks is going to get hurt again, but while he's playing, he's going to be good, and I would run with him for sure. I want to talk to the viewers for a second because we have a new feature that I want to let them know about. You can go to callmfsn.com, and you can come on the show. That's right. Your video feed can come right in here. We'll see you and we'll talk to you. We'll treat you like a regular human being. It's very exciting. We cannot wait to hear from you. In the meantime, if you haven't done so already, click subscribe, ring the bell for notifications, and put your comments below. If you're too shy to come on video, you got your comments here. We've got more comments coming in. We got P. Donovan 81. He says, "Go Cavs." I love you, P. Donovan. and I've talked to you before on here, so I remember. Anthony Cruz does have another question. I have Bradley Beal on my team. The Wizards haven't played in so long. What should I do to make up the loss of productivity value?
So,
Ross, I'm going to throw it to you first, and then I'll weigh in.
Okay, so as I mentioned, it's COVID, and I feel bad. Memphis just announced today that they're going to postpone 3 games. So 3 games are going to be missing in the Memphis schedule starting today. The Wizards have been going through the same thing, and the Heat, like half their team is gone. So having COVID, it's a horrible thing, but at least the season's still going on. And that being said, you got to spread out your roster. You can't have the same players on the same team. It can be a disaster waiting to happen. If you have let's say you have all Memphis players on your team, your team can't function. You're going to get destroyed that week in fantasy. So you got to be smart as an owner. You got to spread it out. If a guy goes on the COVID list, you just press injured, you put him there, and you pick up somebody else. I wish I had an answer about Beal. Watch the waiver wire show a little later. We're going to be talking about some great waiver wire pickups. You can't replace Beal as much as I wish I could. I wish I had the magic wand and we had some magic players show up that no one has that you can get, but that's not going to happen. But we have some great players, some great pickups that you'll be able to function.
Anthony, I will say this. We've got players who they may be able to provide maybe 3/4 value of Bradley Beal. If you can get that, you're limping through, and that's fine, especially if you're in a head-to-head league. Let's say you win 5-4 for a couple of weeks. That's okay. Just keep yourself afloat during that period of time. You can start winning 7-2 and 8-1 later. Just get through. The key is to make the playoffs and then be hot at the time of the playoffs. Pete Donovan says, trade Kyrie. Ross, do you agree?
No. Trade Kyrie. Was he insane? Kyrie's a sniper. He's one of the best shooters in the league. On this team, he'll get assists now. He's a good defender. He'll get some steals. You don't trade Kyrie. The only way I would trade Kyrie is either for Joker over in Denver, Luka in Dallas. I mean, there's a small selection of players I would trade for Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving and Harden and Durant are going to be so much fun to watch. You keep Irving just for the factor that you can watch them almost every night now. Every time they play, they're going to be on national TV. So you, Patrick Donovan, you can watch them play and score you points.
All right, we're going to take one more question before we go to our sponsor. Patrick O'Hara is asking, is Lamarcus Aldridge a hold in a 10-team, 9-category league? I got to say, this is a tough call. If it were a 12-team league, you dump him. It's over. In a 10-team league, I could see holding him for a little bit, but I also could see moving on from him. Ross, what do you say?
I picked up Walker on San Antonio last week, and it was one of the worst moves I ever did. I thought, okay, Popovich isn't going to get me this time, but he did. And Walker's been just horrible ever since I picked him up, and I'm dropping him as soon as I can. But that all being said, I'm not a big San Antonio Spurs player fan. So if there's somebody else that's on a better run, and we'll talk about that later, but I'm not a big Aldridge guy. I'm not a big San Antonio Spurs guy. So my suggestion is drop him.
Yeah, I think that at this point, his ceiling has gotten very low, and in a 10-team league, you can probably do better with things that are out on the wire. Okay, guys, we are going to our sponsor, which is Killcliff.
Everyone is happy with the new flavor of Killcliff CBD Strawberry Days. It's clean energy. Makes your days more pleasurable by infusing strawberries right into your drink hole. Look at Sally. Her drink hole is happy. Way to go, Sally. Get the world of tomorrow today at killcliff.com. The biggest no-brainer in the history of drinks.
Oh my God. I love those drinks. I can't wait to get some more. We have some being sent to us. You'll see us drinking them on the show. And
sugar-free.
They give you
sugar-free, which is big
sugar-free.
for me.
That is a big deal.
My doctor says, Ross, stay away from salt, sugar, flour, anything white you shouldn't touch. And when I'm listening to him, so when I heard it's sugar-free, I'm very excited about Killcliff. Too excited.
All right, we're gonna jump back in.
Okay.
They've given us the energy from Killcliff because some of their drinks are energy drinks. It's very exciting. Now I'm moving really fast because I drank some Killcliff during the commercial, and you have no idea. Oh my God, it's so exciting. Okay, we're gonna get to some of the questions now. We got Matt Kleinman. He is saying, what can we expect the Heat to be at their full roster, what can we expect them to be? I assume this is a question about the NBA, not fantasy, because that's just individual players. Can the Heat repeat what they did last year?
Matt, absolutely. The Heat, when they're full blast, they're a playoff team. They're reckoned to be reckoned with in the East, but I just think the Brooklyn Nets are just too tough. I do like the Heat a lot. They've been struck hard with the COVID virus. It is part of the fantasy. Butler hasn't played in a while. Tyler Hero's been hurt. He neck spasms. He hasn't played in 4 games. I mean, their team has been, Bam hasn't played either. Their team has been decimated from COVID. They're playing a lot of guys coming off the bench that are starting now. But when they're in full strength, the Heat are definitely a playoff team in the East, and don't give up on them. I love their coach. He's one of the best in the league. I like their team a lot. They cannot beat Brooklyn.
You know what every hero needs?
What?
They need Dr. Dan Ratner to help them with their muscle spasms. I could totally help you, Tyler Hero. Reach out to me right now. Okay. Well, we're going to take one more question, and I'm going to intersperse the questions, but then we're going to start talking about players on the wire.
Great. I'm ready.
Scoop up, because after all, that is part of the reason you came here. Okay. So I'm going to take one question, then we'll name a player, and then I'm going to go back to a question. All right. So the next question, also from Matt Kleinman, says, I have another question for RTB. Every time I read that, I think it's RGB. I'm like, are you a Supreme Court justice?
RTB, Ross the Boss, just so the audience knows. RTB.
Yeah, of course. RTB is Ross the Boss.
And I sign emails right now to RTB, just so everybody knows.
RTB. And I sign emails RGB, and everyone gets very confused. Matt Kleinman asks, if you have a team that is getting destroyed by COVID, what can you do? So a similar question to who asked that question? That was...
It doesn't matter. Matt, let me just explain. It's easy. You got to have... Every player in your team should be in a different team. Every player. Because let's say you have somebody on Memphis or somebody on Portland, and the team you're playing is not playing. So that game's postponed, not because your team has COVID, because the other team can't play because they have COVID. So you got to just diverse, all the Western, Eastern, just get players from all different types. Do a trade. If you have like Kawhi Leonard and George on the same team, the Clippers, you should trade at least one of them. You can get a lot for either one of them, actually. But I would just be diverse. I would trade and just make sure one player from each team. That's the safest thing you can do.
Yeah, I mean, if you had Kevin Durant and Kyrie, James Harden somehow, and then that was traded, Harden was traded to Brooklyn, you immediately want to diversify. Move one of those players out for a player of equal value. And here's another reason why. When a player gets hurt, the player they're playing with, some numbers go up, but some numbers go down. I mean, if Durant's not there, Harden's numbers are actually, I could see them going up because of the attention he's getting, but they could go down in terms of efficiency because no Durant. So, all right, let's get to some players, Ross. The way we break down this show, it's 60% and under owned in Yahoo leagues. There's other ways to measure it, but it gives you a baseline. And we break it down into must-haves, solid pickups, and deeper league pickups. And we're not going to, debate these things so much unless it's interesting. We'll see. But we're going to start with some must-haves. So who is at the absolute top of your list, Ross? 60%.
Question, is LeBron James, is he over 60% or under 60%?
So I checked, and I've been doing math for a long time, and he is over.
Okay. Didn't know. So my must-have this week is a bunch of. This week's a great. Actually, in all seriousness, this week is a great week for waiver wire, and it's a really good week for you to pick up some good players this week and drop some dead weight that you have on your team. So I suggest you listen to Ross and Dr. Dan right now, because you can't have a great roster right now that's flowing great. There has to be some players that aren't doing well that you're frustrated with, and this is why you're watching Ross the Boss and Dr. Dan Ratner. So my first one is Cole Anthony. Cole Anthony's a rookie, plays for Orlando Magic. He also has great hair also. I like him a lot. He North Carolina kid. He actually the Magic were down by like 1 point 2 days ago, and they went to him for the last shot. He missed it, but it just shows you that they're really, really light in point guard, and he's a point guard. He gets assists. He averages 17 points a game. He gets like 6, 7, 8, 9 assists a game. He gets rebounds. He gets steals. He's all these categories. He's a must-have. I would pick him up immediately. And the Magic, they're playing him a lot. They love this kid. I like him too. So my first pickup this week is Cole Anthony.
I love it. It's a good pickup. My first pickup this week is Derrick Jones Jr. So he's on Portland. CJ McCollum just went down. How long is he out for, Ross?
CJ McCollum is down for, I would say, 4 to 5 weeks.
So you're going to get some really good value out of Derrick Jones for a while here. Meanwhile, Nurkic is out too. You think that just affects players like Enes Kanter, who I do have as a must-have pickup. We'll get to him in a second. But even a player like Derrick Jones, somebody's going to pick up the slack there. You know, the offense could change because you don't have the big man in there. So Derrick Jones Jr., meanwhile, he's a guy who gets steals and blocks. I love players like that who have an opportunity and are getting steals and blocks. Ross, give me one more name, and then we're going to get to a question.
Derrick Jones, I want to go back to Derrick Jones real quick. He's not a point guy. So if you look at his points, don't get discouraged. Oh, my God, he's only averaging 5 points a game. Doesn't matter. Like Dr. Dan said, steals, assists, even rebounds. He's doing a lot better because he's doing great. Somebody else on Portland, you mentioned Portland. I want to mention somebody else is Rodney Hood. Rodney Hood had over 20 points last time he played. He's the starting guard now. He started when CJ Kelly went down. Rodney Hood's a starter. But Derrick Jones does play a lot. So this matters what you need. If you need steals and defense, pick up Derrick Jones Jr. I love how I call him Jr. And if you need some points and a guy who shoots threes like a maniac, like Rodney Hood, I love that name, you pick up Rodney Hood. So, to stay with Portland, another guy that we like is Enes Kanter. As you mentioned, their center's down for 6 to 8 weeks. Enes Kanter is a double-double guy, rebounds and points. He'll do that almost every game for you. So Enes Kanter is somebody that I like. Rodney Hood. Portland's a lot of must pickups this week. That's like our feature. We should just have the whole Portland team to pick up because we're just talking about Portland right now, but I mean, there's a lot of stuff happened in Portland this week, so it's not a bad thing. And don't be afraid to pick up any of those players we just mentioned.
No, but if you do end up picking like 4 of them, trade one immediately because we told you to diversify. We're not hypocrites here.
There you go.
Okay, now we do have a question. It's from Lucius Varanus 44. I feel like that's from some kind of book, that name. I don't know. What's your opinion on Devin Booker in a points league? It's funny. I was eyeing Devin Booker because I was actually looking. One thing that Ross and I like to do is to look at players that are over 60% owned that we want to either ship out in a trade or maybe even get rid of altogether. Now, I definitely would not cut Devin Booker. Absolutely not. But is he somebody I would trade? Absolutely. Even in a points league, you know, I think he's going to be more valuable in a points league, but even so, I think he's like at 100 in the Yahoo rankings or something like that for average stats. He's just not getting it done. He scores a lot, but he's got a lot of empty. He's like a glorified Andrew Wiggins right now. He's got to pick up the pace. Ross, what do you think?
Oh, I mean, I like Booker, University of Kentucky kid, big scorer. You know, he's not having the year like he had last year. His ratings went down a little bit on me. If you could trade him, I would. I don't think he's going to produce like he did last year. So if I was you, I would try to trade him, but for a top tier player. If it's not top tier player, keep him. But he would be in my trade list. Absolutely, I agree.
Yeah, and I agree with your strategy, Ross. You don't want to give him away. He try to get somebody who sees the potential in him and get proper value for him. So again, if you haven't already done so, click subscribe, ring the bell for notifications, and put your comments below. But I also do want to remind you, we have a new feature. If you go to www.callmfsn, I almost gave Ross a heart attack. That scared me. www.callmfsn.com. You can come on this show and talk to us face to face. Well, screen to screen anyway. And we can't wait to hear from you. We have a question coming in from Patrick O'Hara, and then we'll get back to any must-haves we have before we move on to the solid pickups. This is from Patrick O'Hara again. I need highly efficient big men. It's a 10-team league, 9 categories. And he's saying, I'm looking at Robert Williams, Ivica Zubac, and Jeff Green. Kendrick Nunn also. Is his field goal percentage sustainable? Who can I grab? Efficient big men. Ross, I'm going to let you get started, and then I'll answer.
I don't feel Jeff Green. I have on my pickup list. He's available in a lot of leagues. He's rebounds. He's 3-pointers. He plays over for the Nets. He's like he starts, but he's not going to be in the spotlight. But he'll get a lot of looks now because you got those 3 guys out there, and somebody has to be open. You give it to Jeff Green, he'll pop it. But the guys you mentioned, they're okay. But I like Enes Kanter. If you can get Enes Kanter from Portland, that's your big man. That's who you should pick up. There's also a center for Minnesota. Last name is Reed. He's getting a lot more playing time. He's somebody else you should take a look at. He's getting rebounds. He's getting blocks. And also for Golden State, this Pasquale, he got hurt like a few weeks ago. Now he's back. He's somebody else that's getting points and blocks. He's their backup center. He's getting a lot of playing time right now. Pasquale for Golden State, I love, but Kanter would be my number one pickup if I was you. If he's available, hopefully he is.
I hate to agree with Ross the Boss. Actually, that's not true. I'm a very agreeable guy. I totally do agree with him, though. No, I totally agree with you. What can I do? Enes Kanter is my number one big man pickup, but I'll give you another, Patrick. No, he's not a center, but he is a power forward. Paul Millsap. This guy, he's an older player, but he is performing, and he's done almost elite level play in the past 3 years. I think even 2 years ago, he was pretty solid. Paul Millsap is a guy to take a chance on. He's really starting to pick up the pace.
I like Paul, Denver Nugget. Yep.
I would say him, and then Kelly Olynyk is still under 60% owned, and he's putting up good numbers.
Yep.
The one guy you have on your list, Patrick, that I do like a lot is Robert Williams. I think he's still on the injured list though, but stash him. That guy's good. One more. This is a huge deep league ad. Okay, bear with me here, Ross, because this guy's only averaging 15 minutes a game. But Nerlens Noel, if you're talking about efficiency, the guy is blocking shots like a madman still. If he starts to get minutes, he's going to be an absolute monster. And in the meantime, you can use him as a useful guy. So, but in a 10-team league, it's pretty hard to justify. I would go with Enes Kanter. You know, it's interesting too. In a 10-team league, you might have DeAndre Jordan floating around. If you got him floating around, I say scoop him up. I know his free throws aren't great, but everything else is. All right, Ross. We have another question coming in. Party Marty's here. He says, "How's it going, Dan and Ross? Go Raptors." He doesn't have an informative question, but he asks our question: "How are we doing?" Marty, I'm doing well, thank you. All right, Ross. Let's see. Do you have any other must-have pickups? I've mentioned mine.
So I mentioned Jeff Green. I think that's a good pickup right now. He's playing for the Nets. He's scoring. He's having double-doubles. He's playing well. He'll get lost on the court. He's going to get a lot of looks. He'll get a lot of shots in there. If I could pick up Jeff Green, I think that's a good pickup for threes and points and rebounds. I just feel and steals. He's a great defender. Jeff Green's a great pickup right now. But I'm kind of done with my list of people must have. I got some people that I'm thinking about picking up that I want to take more looks. So hopefully we can talk about that next.
Yeah, let's go to that next. I have, these are the kind of guys, Ross, that we always argue about, because I like the guys who have a safe floor. They're not going to win your league, but if you're looking for waiver wire pickups, usually I'm going to pick up maybe 2 or even 3 players a week because it's rotating. I get sick of one guy because he's just not performing. I move on to somebody else, maybe somebody who has a hot hand. But the guys I really like to pick up are guys that you hate, like Danny Green. Danny Green just gives consistent value. The guy is always ranked in the top 100, always. And he does things across the board. It's not a sexy pickup, but it's a great one. Will Barton is another one of those. It gives you something across the board. So Danny Green's not available in our league, but Will Barton is. We'll see if you outbid me for him after I convinced you. Who do you have on this kind of list?
So there's a few guys I actually have. I like Wayne Ellington, and you're saying, who the hell is Wayne Ellington? Wayne Ellington is starting to start now for the Detroit Pistons. He's a small forward, big guard. He started the past 2 games. He's actually averaging like 16 points a game, 33 minutes a game. And the coach actually benched Joshua Jackson. He's playing like 12 minutes a game now. It's like he's done with Joshua Jackson. So Ellington's coming in. He's playing really well. I don't know if you should pick him up quite yet. He may not be available next week, so you may want to pick him up. But my first on this list is Ellington. He is getting a lot of looks, and I just feel that he's somebody that you should really, really take a good look at right now, because if you don't, he'll be gone with the wind.
That's the name of the game when it comes to waiver wire. You got to be a little bit ahead of the wave. That's why we do this show, so that you know who to pick up. Now, remember when the Detroit coach said he was going to take Joshua Jackson under his wing and make him the great player? It's not working. Something's not working. And I'm pretty sure that it doesn't seem like that's going to turn around. Now, it looks like we have somebody ready to join us. And guess who it is? It's Casey. Casey from MFSN.
Bad to the bone, Seinfeld.
Bad to the bone. He's here to join us.
Hello, everybody.
Come on in, Casey. Oh, hello, Casey. How are you?
I'm good, man. How are you guys doing?
We're good. Casey.
Doing well.
I mentioned
all right, Casey, while we have
before the show started, I want to hear your pickups for Waiver Wire, because you always have some great picks, and I want to hear. Give us a couple.
I was calling with a question. I didn't have any suggestions. I was calling
this guy is a sniper. I know he has somebody, and he won't tell me because he wants to win the league. I know this guy. Okay, what's your question? Go.
No, well, my question is, we're going to handle this.
My question is,
all right.
I'm an unfortunate Nurkic owner, so I am now out of one of my primary big men for 8 to 12 weeks, it looks like, which could be most of the season. And I have a selfish owner in my league who won't just give me Enes Kanter. So I'm wondering where I could go to find replacement value for Nurkic.
Listen, first of all, you call that owner selfish. We don't know who we're talking about here, but maybe he would deal. You haven't made me an offer yet. I mean, I would give him to
him an offer.
Yes. Okay, we've outed it as everyone but Lauren in our league. So, Casey, you may have missed. Enes Kanter would have been somebody we would have recommended, of course, but he's gone. So one guy that I just mentioned, Paul Millsap, pretty good big man. He's just floating out there. Okay. He's not going to bring you Nurkic numbers, but he could bring you 75%, help you limp through until Nurkic gets back. I'll give you another one. Royce O'Neal. Oh, no, I believe Andrew owns him. You'll never pry him away from Andrew unless he becomes horrible. If he becomes horrible, then you can get him.
When he's ready to cut him, he'll offer him to me.
And Kelly Olynyk is another one, but I believe he's owned in our league also. So
he was.
Paul Millsap is the one
last week.
Paul Millsap is one. Here's another big man that you could get that's just floating out there. Kem Birch. This is a deep league ad.
Birch.
I like Birch. He plays for Orlando. Birch. And actually, Orlando has some injuries, and he's been starting. He's on my list of people you should watch out for.
So is he starting at power forward? Because isn't Vucevic?
Yeah, he's a power forward. He's a big man. Yeah. He's he's somebody I like a lot. Also, that's a great one. I was going to mention
those are great calls. I appreciate the help.
It is my pleasure, and I hope that while we were the way I was going to say it is, you ask your question, we'll answer it, and during it, you can think of some of your pickups. Now we're going to put you on the spot. And if you haven't figured anything out, we'll just let you go. Do you have one player that you know is out there, or you haven't done your research yet?
I haven't done my research yet.
He's lying.
Casey was always a procrastinator.
Yes.
Okay, listen.
I made it through graduate school on the skin of my teeth.
All right, next time you come on, just jot down a few names, and then
I'll have at least 2.
He knows. He's not telling us the truth. He doesn't want to give me his secret names.
I don't want to give.
I know what you're up to. I know what you're up to, Casey. I'm not stupid. So let me give you guys another name I like, because he's a Cleveland Cav. We talked about him earlier. C.D. Osman. C.D. Osman had 25 points the other night. He's a streamer. He's been getting a lot of playing time because of Garland's hurt. Garland's coming back very soon, but I do feel that he'll get more playing time now because he really proved himself during this time when Garland's been hurt. So CD, I like a lot. If you need 3-pointers, if you need a shooter, KC, even rebounds, this guy's good. CD, you may want to pick up.
All right.
Now, Now, Casey, I know you've got things to do. You had to pick up the kids and all that stuff. So we're going to let you go. But thank you for coming on. We really appreciate you joining us.
Always a pleasure. Come back. Great show, guys. Love watching it.
Thank you so much. All right, Casey.
All right. See ya.
All right, Ross. We're going to get back to some names, but first I'm going to say again, if you haven't already, click subscribe, ring the bell for notifications, put your comments below, and call that's not the right information. Call www.callmfsn.com. Right. I got confused because one of our producers said go to callmfsn.tv. That's not actually the place to go as far as I know.
Okay.
If it is, I'm going to need some indication that I've been giving out the wrong information the entire time. But I do believe it is www.callmfsn.com. You can come on just like Casey did. We'll put you on the spot. ask you for your picks, and then we'll let you off the hook if you don't have anybody. Ross, I mentioned a couple of big men to Casey. Let's talk about some guards, some backcourt players that you can pick up if you run into a COVID spot, if one of your guys is run out of gas, if you own Marcus Smart and he's shooting 25% for the last month. I don't care what he did last night. He's been terrible. I'm holding him, but not happy with him. Some backcourt guys. Who do you got?
So I'm going to start with, I'm wearing actually a shirt that the school that he actually went to, and also the same school that James Harden went to. And my school's actually playing the University of Arizona tonight on ESPN at 6 p.m. Pacific time. So please watch Arizona State destroy Arizona tonight. It's going to be a classic. But I like Dort from Oklahoma City. Dort is 33 minutes a game. He's averaging almost 18 points a game. He gets assists, steals. He had 6 steals 3 nights ago. Six steals in one game. This guy is a thief. But I love this guy. I think he's terrific. And I just feel that Dort's a must pick up right now. And I don't have him the must pick up, but I have him like right underneath. He's like just barely didn't make it this week, but you should pick him up.
That's a great pickup too, because Dort is the kind of player that started off hot and then he went on a cold streak. And so his numbers don't actually look that great. But if you look at him in the last 2 weeks, he's been great. You really want to pick him up. Guess what, Ross? We have another visitor, and it's another guy that we know. It's Party Marty.
Party Marty.
Welcome to the show.
So if you don't know who Party Marty is, we do a hockey show. Party Marty is one of the biggest experts in hockey in Canada. He lives in Ontario. He's a genius when it comes to hockey. He's one of the best. I don't think his basketball knowledge is that great, but we'll find out right now.
Not at all.
Okay, at least you admit it. I don't want to put you on the spot.
I only watch the Raptors sometimes.
So Marty, what's the temperature in Ontario, Canada today?
Right now it's cold outside. I took the dog for a walk and we both gave up, so we're sitting downstairs in the basement watching TV.
Okay, so you heard it here. You heard it here, guys. The temperature is cold.
Yeah, it's cold.
Now, Marty, did you have an ace bandage on your hand? Did you injure yourself? Did I see that?
Yo, I cut my thumb on I opened it up. I don't know how I did it, but I just heard it.
I'm starting to think that it was from an Irish car bomb. That's
no.
Guess based on my no. So listen, Marty, you're a Raptors fan. What was it like when they won the title? Was that really exciting for you, or you were just like?
It was actually amazing to see it because I don't really watch basketball, but it was amazing for the fans and how they did it. They did great on the show. So I loved how every game they played, and it was great to see the fans at least happy for one thing too.
Marty, I love the guy that wears the turban who sits like right behind the basket.
Oh,
and he's
yeah.
Like every game he's there, and I guess he's in the car business, and he's been on TV a million times, but he's it's a great story. He came to Canada with nothing, and he built this huge business. And the first thing he bought season tickets for the Raptors. I like that guy a lot. I forgot his name, but he's somebody that we're trying to get for the show actually. But Marty, do you watch basketball at all, or are you just addicted to hockey?
I watch hockey. I watch football. I do watch basketball sometimes, but not really. Just only when it comes to the playoffs.
All right. Well, then listen, Marty. We can't wait to have you back on for hockey, because when we have you on for hockey, you can't stop. You're so excited. Although you're always talking about Matt Murray.
Yeah.
And Matt Murray is a good pickup, but I want to learn more. Marty sent me a trade actually in hockey. We're going to get to that soon. But that's for the hockey show. So Marty, thank you for coming on to join us.
I'll let you guys go for now.
Really appreciate it.
Talk to you guys in a bit.
I hope your thumb is better soon.
Thank you.
Ross, we're going to get to some, we're going to get to some more players. But first we have a question that has come in. It's from Lucius Varenus 44. Thanks so much for answering my previous question. You are welcome, Lucius. I don't know if that's your real name, but I'll call you it. As a follow-up, would you trade Booker for Westbrook? And he says he loves our show. We love you right back. So, Ross, we had both said that we would be up for trading Booker, but we want to get top value. Does Westbrook qualify? Now, you own Westbrook, so you've got a
Westbrook's been hurt. He might be back next week. I would do that deal in a second. Westbrook assists, rebounds and points, he's almost averaging a triple double in all three categories. And when it comes to points, basically field goal percentage means nothing. And that's what really is his downfall is field goal percentage when it comes to Westbrook. I would trade Westbrook for Booker. Yes, I would. I know Westbrook's hurt. So right now is a great time to make that offer because you'll probably, the time the deal goes through and everything else, you'll probably dismiss like one game. It's not a big deal.
But Ross, you're saying that because it's a points league. Is that right?
Because it's a points league. Exactly.
Yeah, because just to be clear, in a non-points league, I would not make that deal.
Okay.
Because Booker has, I think, more all around value, but that's a strong argument, Ross.
I'm just going points league. I know the information he gave me, and if it's a total points league, like we said, yes, I would
absolutely
trade that. Yes.
Now I have a couple other pickups that we haven't mentioned all season, so I'm kind of excited to.
I got a couple too. That's great. I can't wait.
All right, I'm going to name one, then we're going to go to you. One,
okay.
I never pick up Spurs, just like you.
Oh, don't do it.
I don't trust Popovich, but
no, don't say it.
Guy, Devin Vassell. Do you know him? He's stealing
I know he is.
the ball
yeah, of
like
course.
crazy.
Yeah, and remember, White. One of the best players, White, is hurt. So Vassell's a great pickup, but again, I just don't trust Popovich. But if you like him, it's great.
Listen, he's the kind of guy that I'd run with for a week, see how it goes. But I will tell you, I looked at the rankings. I believe I'm going to check it right now. Hold on. I'm pulling this up because I believe he ranks. Let's see. In the last, hold on. Where is this? In the last two weeks, he's a top 30 player.
Wow.
Can you believe that?
Pick up Vassell now.
Yeah.
Or maybe until White becomes healthy, he's back in the starting lineup.
Oh, no, wait. I'm sorry. I was wrong. He's a top 46 player.
Okay. Then don't. I'm just kidding. It's still something you should be aware of. That's a great name. I like it, Dan. We haven't heard his name all season. That's a great pickup. And I feel it's something you should at least be aware of. That's a good name. I'm going to give you somebody now that I feel is somebody you should watch out for. And he has the longest name in back of his shirt of any player in history. Just so you know, his shirt, like it starts like on the bottom and it goes all the way to the top and goes all the way to the end. It's that long
and down the leg.
So it's a crazy name. He's a shooting guard, plays for the Pelicans in New Orleans. His name is Nikolai Alexander Walker. And he actually scored 37 points last week. Last week he had like 8 threes in one game. This guy was he was on fire. The coach for the Pelicans loves this kid. Lonzo Ball is not playing well. I mean, he's been hurt, and then his play is not good. It's not like last year. I liked him a lot last year, and I feel this year his play's been going down. And I just feel Nikolai Alexander Walker, he's getting a lot of playing time. He's averaging like 30-something minutes a game because Ball was hurt. So keep your eye on this kid. You heard it from me first. Nikolai Alexander Walker.
I love that kind of pick, Ross, because this is a guy who could come into some major value for the rest of the season. By the way, I had Lonzo Ball on my cut list. I think that
I agree.
He is.
I agree with you.
I know he's starting to slide back. You can tell he's not getting the coaching he needs. You know he's not the kind of player that will take coaching. So I don't see a solution coming. That guy's going downhill, and maybe he's going to luck into a situation where he gets traded to a Greg Popovich, and then he coaches him up well. But it's going to take a lot to get him to go anywhere. So the guy that's waiting in the wings, who has the name that goes all the way down his back and down onto his leg.
If you watch the Pelicans game, take a look at his name and how it's on his back of his jersey. It's pretty funny.
I thought you were going to say it was another Antetokounmpo, but that's short compared to this one.
No, this is unbelievable. I've never seen anything like this.
All right, I'm going to get to some more names soon, but I want to remind everybody, click subscribe, ring the bell for notifications, put your comments below, and if you want to come on live, www.callmfsn.com. All right, another player that we have not mentioned much at all. I have always loved this guy, and he's starting to emerge. This is a deeper league guy. If you're in a 10-team league, you're not adding this guy. But if you're in a 12-team league and you want to speculate on someone, Amadou Diallo. This guy, you know him? Amadou Diallo
Oklahoma City. I know him very well. Yes.
The guy can jump out of the building. I've never seen
I like him a lot.
him.
I think I picked him up in a couple leagues recently.
Well, he he ranks I think he's ranked 135th in the last 2 weeks, but he's increasing. He's getting better and better. This is one of those young guys that if you get on him now, because I'm not sure he's going to be available. Is it possible you pick him up and then he ends up being useless? Yes. I will level with you. Some of the players that we're recommending, it's more about taking the chances on the right guys, because what happens is if you strike gold, you've got that guy in your lineup for the rest of the season. And then you go trying to strike gold again. Ross, does that strategy make sense to you?
I like it. Yes, Dan, I love that. Somebody else I like a lot, Dan, who's coming off injury, who's back in the starting lineup, and this team is kind of hurt because LeVert went down, is Jeremy Lamb. And Jeremy Lamb has not played at all this season. He's made his debut this week. I think he had 13, 14 points. He's somebody that the Pacers are really, really high on. And I feel that you should just keep him on your list because he'll get blocks, he'll get steals, he'll get points, assists. So Jeremy Lamb is somebody that nobody really knows about because he hasn't played this season. But you, watching our show, you know who Jeremy Lamb is. So I would suggest you pick him up today.
Yep, these are guys you got to get on before they're gone. And could they return to the waiver wire? Yes, they could, especially these deeper league guys. Another one that I'm going to say, Willie Cauley-Stein. We talked to Mark Cuban about Willie Cauley-Stein when he came and interviewed with us, and he was one of the signings that he was excited about. And you see why. I mean, he's getting minutes. I think it's about 22 minutes a game.
He's getting more. I mean, Dwight Powell's been hurt. They're starting center. So Steins has been playing a lot. You're correct. They're having a couple guys coming back from, I think Kluber's coming back, and so is Powell. They're starting to get more healthy, Dallas. And Dallas is a team to watch out for. I mean, they're hitting in all cylinders right now, and Lucas hitting in all cylinders. But I like Stein. Just watch out for the guys that are coming back, taking back their playing time from him. But I do like him a lot. He's been playing great.
Okay, a couple other players to mention. We've been mentioning Batum a lot, so I'm not going to spend much time on him. But he's still out there in under 60%. You should snatch him up if you can. We got a question coming in from Patrick O'Hara. Taurean Prince came off a great game, just newly with the Cavs. The Nets traded us their whole bench, and it showed. That team was out of gas by the end of that game. Could Taurean Prince sustain value for a 10-team, 9-category league? I am skeptical that that's going to be the case in a 10-team league. In a 12-team league, I'd like it more, but it would be speculative because I don't know how he's going to fit in with the Cavs. Ross, what do you have to say about it?
I agree. I think Osman's the guy that if you have to pick up a Cav, that'd be the who I pick up first. Prince is playing just because Garland's not playing right now. I feel they're kind of hurt right now. And plus, that game that you're talking about was the double overtime game, I assume. So remember, 144 points were scored, and it was like crazy amount of minutes everybody was playing. So I don't think Prince is going to do that all the time, but you're 100% right, Dan.
But I will say this, Patrick, you're smart to have your eye on a player like him. He's an underrated kind of player. I've owned him before. As I recall, he gets a lot of steals. He gets his fair amount of threes. He's efficient. So he's a good player to have. And you could do worse. But in a 10-team league, I also think you can do better. So check out some other options. I would like to see somebody with a more solidified role. I'm going to give you an example, Patrick. Now, I don't know if I would take him in a 10-team league, but it's borderline. PJ Tucker. This guy may be old, but he does get the job done. He's super efficient. He gives you a lot of what you need. He's going to get a lot more minutes now that Harden's out of there. Actually, he always got a decent amount of minutes, but he's going to get more dynamic play going. One other guy that I think would be a good pickup, and it really depends on what you need, but Taurean Prince is the kind of guy that you tend to pick up for steals. Justin Holiday's still floating out there. And with LeVert hurt, he's a great addition, especially for steals. Ross, do you have any recommendations for Patrick?
Yeah, I mean, I also like he's on the border just because, Tyler Hero's hurt, but this guy's getting a lot of playing time. Is Drokic, is Drolan Drokic for the Miami Heat. He had like 20 points last game. He has steals, he has assists, but again, he's playing a lot just because of Hero's hurt. But it's a good pickup. This guy is a good guy to have in your team. He's available in like 75% of the leagues. I like, he's been in the league for a while. He's healthy right now. The Heat, they're in dismay just because everybody's on the COVID list, but he's a great pickup. And, remember, I mentioned this earlier, Alec Burks is available in majority of the leagues, and he's averaging 20 points a game, and he's been hurt for like 4 weeks now. So a lot of people dropped him. Good time to pick him up. He's going to be probable tomorrow.
Yeah. So there's a lot of really good pickups, I think, this week. And here's another little tip for you. And then we're going to wrap up on this. But at this point in the season, enough of the season has gone by that some good value is buried in the stats. And that's where you want to look at how people are in the last 2 weeks, or how people are in their average stats over the week, or if COVID cases hit. There's all kinds of value to be found on the waiver wire all the time. So, we're getting some more questions rolling in, so we're actually going to stick here a little bit longer. But I do think that you look for those buried statistics. Dort is a great example. Just like I said, he struggled for a while. Now he's putting up the numbers again. So always make sure to check. How are they doing in the last 2 weeks is how I like to do it. Ross the Boss, I think, likes to do the last 7. Yep. He's showing his ASU shirt. I guess they do things by the week. But if you're looking at those numbers, it's a big deal. Then you got players like Royce O'Neal. Royce O'Neal has never been anything that special, but you got to take into account team context. Maybe they are getting to a place where they have, learned something about the game, or the role that they're playing is different. So look for those stats. One other player that we haven't mentioned, and I didn't mention him because we've mentioned him so much, but Miles Bridges is somebody I've mentioned a lot. He's another great pickup. Ross, do you have anyone else to add to the list, or do you feel that we've covered it very nicely?
I mean, if you need scoring, if you need scoring, this guy's not going to get you. This guy will not get you blocks. He won't get you rebounds, and he won't get you steals. Is McDermott for Indiana, but he will get you scoring. He's a 3-point sniper. He's a big time scorer, but the other categories he'll kill you in. But if you need a score immediately to come on your team, McDermott is the man. He is getting a lot of playing time right now because Miles Turner is hurt now. You got LeVert who's hurt, who's not playing for like 3 weeks now. So that all being said, if you need scoring, McDermott's your guy, but he's not going to help you in any other category.
Yeah, his nickname is McBuckets. That's what he does. He gets the buckets and not much else. So one question we have coming in is, would you drop Draymond Green in a 12-team league? Not only would I would do it in a heartbeat. It's time. I think he has fallen off a cliff, and it's not a physical cliff either. Well, thankfully, but it's not a cliff that is related to his physical skills.
I mean, I would wait. It depends who you're picking up. Draymond's good with rebounds. Great. One of the best defenders. Oh, he's one of the best defenders in the league. So dropping Draymond is not the greatest idea. I'm holding.
Ross, before you get into more with that, Sully McCullough's here.
I'm here in the house.
I'm in the house, guys.
He's in the house.
Guys, I'm in the house. How are you? What's going on? Good to see you.
Welcome to the show, Sully.
Congratulations on Sexton's 42-point performance.
22 points, Sully, in overtime alone.
I know. I know.
The big three. He outscored the
big three. I know. It had I think that game was the inauguration after party. I'm just going to say it. I'm going to put it out there.
That's nice. So, Sully, let me ask you. I think the Cavs are going to make the playoffs. I think Bickerstaff
I think the pickups are good. I think you might have a shot.
And Andre Drummond's going to be traded because there's no way he's not going to play 20 minutes a game. This guy wants to play 35 minutes a game. Drummond's going to be going somewhere else, and Allen's going to be their starting center. Kevin Love will be coming back. They'll be at full steam, and I agree with Sully. I think time will tell, but I think they have a good chance to be one of the top 8. We'll see what happens.
Absolutely.
Hey, Sully.
Absolutely.
We have a question coming in, and I'm going to throw it to you to answer it. All right. Now.
Okay, great.
I don't know if you know. You're a big basketball fan, but this is a deep call. So if you don't know, you can throw it back to us. Patrick O'Hara is asking us: can Luke Kennard sustain his field goal percentage?
Whoa! Wow!
Is that too deep?
No, it's not. It's not too deep. I'm a Clipper fan, of course. So The jury is still out for me on Luke Kennard. I have to be 100% honest about that. I think that he's good. Lately, he's been playing really well. The whole team's been playing well.
Six in a row.
Yes. I'm going to say, you know what? I'm going to say no, he can't sustain it. And that hurts me to say that because I'm cutting my own self. But I'm going to say no.
Well, but look, this shows you that you can trust Sully. And this is important that I say this because, guys, you have a new show coming up.
That's right.
The two of you together, right?
That's right.
What's it called?
It's called Run It Back with Sully and the boss, Ross the boss. Come on, Run It Back's going to have everything. We're going to talk basketball. I'm going to give you my crazy theories. We're going to do interviews. I know people. Ross the boss knows people.
Sully's a very funny comic. The show's going to be comedic.
Yes.
It's just not going to be. It's not going to be.
No, it's
we'll
going to have
information. We'll bring the funny, Sully.
I
like bringing
the
funny, and you and I both
funny.
love comedy, so we're not
exactly. Yeah, if you're looking for a show that's like dudes hardcore nerding out on basketball, it's going to have elements of that.
Oh yeah,
but it's going to be funny. Let's just keep
funny.
It.
We're premiering it next week.
Yes,
it's going to be great. I'm excited. Sully's excited. Everybody's excited. I can't wait to talk to Sully.
I've got my jerseys laid out on the bed already.
I was
and this is Monday of next week.
I loved your jersey you wore last time. When
I went with the Hoyas Iverson from back in the day, sewn on that I got from Marshall's for $24. I still can't believe it happened. It was a gift from the basketball heavens above.
I mean, that was great, and it brought back memories too. Well, one thing I like about talking to a basketball fan like you, Sully, is we go back in a similar amount of time, so we can talk about like when Christian Laettner hit that shot, or when Purvis Ellison won the championship game. I mean, never nervous Purvis.
I was a huge Jamal Mashburn fan.
Do the monster Mashburn.
I love that dude.
I love Mashburn. Played for the Dallas Mavericks.
I thought he was gonna have the greatest pro career. I was all in on Jamal Mashburn, and when they lost that game to Duke, it hurt. It hurt me in a way that was like, I believed in you, Secretariat.
Yeah, exactly. That was the time where we thought Jamal Mashburn might be put down after that. It was so bad. I mean, my God.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And you saw that moment where Thomas Hill's crying. He can't believe it happened, but he's crying in happiness. And Jamal Mashburn, you saw. Yes. I mean, some people don't recover from that. I wondered that about Chris Webber, actually. Like, did he ever recover from the timeout? I don't know. That kind of stuff. Oh, but this is one of the great things.
I mean, he definitely.
Go ahead.
He definitely had the skill set to win a championship and was incredible with those Kings teams. So you never know. Maybe that timeout was the thing that just diminished it slightly.
Yeah. I mean, listen, Chris Webber was one of my all-time favorite players. I was a huge, huge fan of the Fab Five and him especially. And that timeout just broke my heart, just because he's a really good guy too, from what I can tell. Every time I see him, I'm just like, that guy's a good guy. I could be wrong, but that's my perception of him. But Sully, we're gonna throw it back to our fans. We're gonna throw it back to our fans to see if they have any last questions for you, me.
Okay, please, please,
guys. If you're watching out there, click subscribe, ring the bell for notifications, put your comments below, and remember, you now can come on the show just like Sully did. You go to www.callmfsn.com, and you'll come right in. So I'm not seeing any questions right now. So we are looking forward to Run It Back. I love the concept of this show.
I think Run It Back is going to be that little secret show that you find and love, and you're like, I love these guys. These guys are knuckleheads. I love them.
And we'll have fun topics. We'll talk about basketball, but we'll have some funny subjects also in there. So if you're not a huge basketball fan, doesn't matter. You can watch our show, and there'll be a lot of different topics. Just
you know what? Just watch it for the jerseys.
There you go.
Yeah, and you're going to talk shoes too. You're talking the whole lifestyle.
Of course,
this man gets it.
This is what you get. You don't just get basketball. You get a dude that's living the culture. And Ross the boss.
That's right. One who's living the culture and one Ross the boss. Sully, thank you for coming on to our show. So I hope to come on yours at some point. I'm sure you will let
you absolutely will. You absolutely will. Thanks, guys. I'll see you.
Thanks, Sully.
Go Cavs.
Stay strong.
All right. Now, I do think Sully Sully and you are slightly underestimating the Cavs, and that's okay because you won't see us coming. We're only going to make it in as a back end team, but it's going to happen. I want to thank everybody for watching, especially these people who are asking us questions. Patrick O'Hara, Lucius Varenas 44. Let's see who else was Anthony Cruz, P. Donovan 81, Matt Kleinman. I mean, you guys were the best. Thank you for watching. Join us next week. We're here same time every week for the Waiver Wire. We'll tell you who to pick up.
Oh, yeah. From Kill Cliff, the #1 clean energy drink in the mind of Joe Rogan, comes the Flamin' Joe. Sugar-free, B vitamins, electrolytes, all them good drink things. An epic spicy pineapple fusion from out of this world, straight into your drink hole. Own it. KillCliff.com.